The Ohio Valley, 1754. A young George Washington, just 22, leads a small band of Virginians and Mingo allies into disputed territory. Their mission, warn the French to leave. But Washington, inexperienced and eager, is hunting for confrontation. Guided by Tanacharison, the half-king, they find a French camp led by Ensign Jumonville. Instead of diplomacy, Washington orders an ambush at dawn. The attack is swift and chaotic. Jumonville is killed, some say after surrendering. The French claim he was a diplomat, the British call him a spy. Either way, blood is spilled. Realizing the gravity, Washington retreats and hastily builds Fort Necessity in a poor location. The French, furious, soon surround the fort, with a larger force led by Jumonville's brother. Pinned down by rain and superior firepower, Washington surrenders, signing a document in French admitting to assassination. News of the disaster spreads fast, igniting an international crisis. What began as a skirmish now threatens to engulf the world in war. The spark is lit for the first truly global conflict. Washington's rash decision will echo far beyond the Ohio woods. The world is about to change forever. The 7 Years' War has begun, and it all started with a single, fateful choice. The 7 Years' War wasn't just another European fight, it was the world's first global war. Battles raged in North America, Europe, India, the Caribbean, and on the seas. The outcome shaped the modern world. Britain became a superpower, France lost its empire, and the seeds of the American and French revolutions were sown. The war's debt led Britain to tax its colonies, setting the stage for American independence. It redrew maps, changed languages, and forced governments to modernize. The echoes of this war are everywhere, from the languages we speak to the borders we know. To understand today's world, we must understand this conflict. The 7 Years' War is the original World War, and its legacy is all around us. The mid-1700s was an age of fierce rivalry. In Europe, Prussia and Austria clashed for dominance, while France and Britain's global ambitions collided everywhere. In North America, British colonies pressed west, hemmed in by French territory controlling the fur trade. The Ohio Valley became the flashpoint. In India, the British and French East India Companies fought for control as the Mughal Empire crumbled. Both raised armies, allied with local rulers, and battled for trade and territory. Native American tribes like the Iroquois and Algonquin played the empires against each other to protect their own interests. The coming war would be shaped by these alliances and rivalries. The world was a powder keg, one spark away from explosion. The stage was set for a conflict that would reshape continents. The perfect storm of ambition, rivalry, and opportunity was about to break. On the eve of war, Europe's alliances flipped overnight in the diplomatic revolution of 1756. Britain, worried about Hanover, allied with its old enemy Prussia. Prussia's Frederick the Great hoped this would secure peace, but it backfired. France, feeling betrayed, joined forces with Austria, its ancient rival. Russia, hostile to Prussia, joined the Franco-Austrian alliance. Suddenly, Prussia was surrounded by 3 powerful enemies. Frederick, realizing his mistake, struck first, invading Saxony and launching the war in Europe. The old order was shattered, Britain and Prussia versus France, Austria, and Russia. Alliances based on centuries of rivalry were replaced by cold calculation. The war's opening moves were shaped by fear, ambition, and the desperate need for survival. The world's great powers were now locked in a struggle that would decide the fate of empires. The 7 Years' War had truly begun. The balance of power would never be the same. Realpolitik, not tradition, now ruled Europe. The world was at war on every front. The war's early years were disasters for Britain and Prussia. Frederick the Great was beset on all sides, British forces lost forts and suffered humiliations in North America and beyond. Then, William Pitt the Elder took charge in London. Pitt's vision used British naval and financial power to crush France's empire, while subsidizing Prussia to keep French armies busy in Europe. He promoted new talent, poured resources into the colonies, and revitalized the war effort. 1759 became Britain's Year of Miracles. Victories at Louisbourg, Quebec, Minden, and at sea shattered French hopes. In India, Robert Clive's triumph at Plassey secured Bengal and immense wealth. By year's end, France's empire was crumbling, its navy broken, and its treasury empty. Pitt's grand strategy was working. Britain was on the path to global dominance. The tide of war had turned. Behind the battles were real people. I, George Washington, learned hard lessons after my surrender at Fort Necessity and Braddock's defeat, lessons that would shape my future. The Acadians, French-speaking settlers in Nova Scotia, were brutally expelled by the British. Families scattered, homes burned, many perished. Native American tribes like the Algonquin allied with the French to defend their lands, only to lose a crucial ally when France fell. The British victory opened the floodgates to westward expansion, sparking new conflicts like Pontiac's War. In Europe, Frederick the Great soared and suffered, winning brilliant victories, then facing despair as his kingdom neared collapse. By 1761, Prussia was devastated, Frederick nearly broken. The war was a crucible for all involved, soldiers, settlers, and sovereigns alike. Triumph and tragedy were two sides of the same coin. The war's human cost was immense. Its lessons would echo for generations. History is written not just by empires, but by those who endured. Prussia's true miracle came in 1762. With Berlin occupied and defeat certain, Tsarina Elizabeth of Russia died. Her successor, Peter III, idolized Frederick and pulled Russia out of the war, saving Prussia from destruction. The miracle of the House of Brandenburg was pure chance, not destiny. The war was more diverse than we imagine. British armies included Highlanders, German mercenaries, colonial militia, and native allies. French forces mixed regulars, Canadian militiamen, and tribal warriors. It was a multicultural conflict, blending tactics and cultures. Financing the war was as crucial as fighting it. Britain's fiscal military state outspent France, funding allies and fleets worldwide. Disease killed more than battle. Smallpox, scurvy, and yellow fever ravaged armies and navies. British sailors' use of citrus to fight scurvy was a game-changer. The war was won with money, medicine, and luck, as much as with muskets. The outcome was never inevitable. History turned on unexpected events and innovations. The 7 Years' War was a contest of endurance, ingenuity, and fate. The war ended in 1763 with the treaties of Paris and Hubertusburg. Britain emerged as the world's leading colonial power, gaining Canada, India, and dominance at sea. France lost its North American empire and was left with crippling debt, fuel for the coming French Revolution. Prussia survived against all odds, cementing its place as a major European power. Austria failed to crush Prussia, setting the stage for future German unification. For the American colonies, the French threat was gone. But British war debt led to new taxes and restrictions. Outrage over taxation without representation sparked the road to revolution. The war's consequences were profound. New empires, new nations, and new conflicts. The world map was redrawn. Old certainties vanished. The seeds of future revolutions were sown. The 7 Years' War changed everything. Its legacy shaped the modern age. The 7 Years' War was a turning point in history. A single decision in the Ohio Valley spiraled into a global conflict that redrew borders and shaped nations. The ambitions of kings and the struggles of soldiers had consequences that still echo today. History is shaped by choices, chance, and individuals, not inevitability. The war's web of cause and effect shows how interconnected the world was, even then. Understanding this conflict reveals the roots of globalization and the world we know. The 7 Years' War gave birth to the British Empire and set the stage for the United States. It's a story of ambition, tragedy, and survival on a global scale. The world we live in was forged in this crucible of conflict. By understanding their world, we better understand our own.